Hello, this is Tom Still from the Wisconsin Technology Council. Thank you for joining us for today's edition of WisBusiness.com, the show. The show is produced by the Tech Council in partnership with WisBusiness.com and with the help of our sponsors, BDO and Exact Sciences. Welcome back. This is Tom Still from the Tech Council. Hey, one of the big things we have coming up is the Wisconsin Early Stage Symposium, November 8th and 9th at Madison's Monona Terrace Convention Center. At its heart, it's a place for young companies to pitch to investors. We're going to have about 40 young companies there overall to pitch, and about 15 more who will join them in one-on-one meetings with investors. So that's going to take place over November 8th and 9th. Other highlights at the conference. We're going to open it up with a plenary session on November 8th with a seminar on video gaming in Wisconsin and how big it is compared to some other industries. Economist Mike Knetter will talk about the state of the economy, also on November 8th. Our Excellence in Entrepreneurial Education Award, Triple E, goes to the duo of Susie and Matt Yonkel. You'll hear from them on the 8th. Our opening recession, always a lot of fun, a lot of networking, is sponsored by Wharf. That'll take place the evening of November 8th. And Susan Healy, who is a CFO and has done so with many large companies and advised many small ones, will talk about back to basics for emerging companies. Other coming events, our SWIFT seminar on launching and growing young companies, which we're doing at different places around the state that are sometimes smaller communities. That'll take place November 14th at the Radisson Hotel in Green Bay. And there we're going to meet with members of the Oneida Nation to talk to them about how we can help them in terms of starting companies. Our Tech Caucus tour of Faith Technologies Lakeside Vision Center in Chilton will take place on the 13th of November. This is not generally open to the public, but if you're a public official who's interested in what's going on in the tech world in Wisconsin, get a hold of Julie at our office and you can see, we'll see if there's a spot. Our Tech Council Innovation Network luncheon on November 21st will feature the new UW-Madison Provost, Charles Isbell Jr. He came to Wisconsin from Georgia Tech. He's a nationally known computer scientist, and he'll share his views on a variety of trends in that industry. Next up, Ben Kvalo of Midwest Games. Well, welcome, Ben Kvalo. He's a Wisconsin native, but keeps his ties in LA. He's published 100 or more game titles and 50 or more films, and he's helped build two of the largest game publishers, 2K and Netflix games in the world. He's worked across those top levels of video gaming and esports, and even led the World Cup of video games, BlizzCon, while he was at Blizzard Entertainment. That event, it can easily draw 40,000 people, I think I've seen from the past. So thanks again, Ben. Hey, on your website, I got to start with this. It says to ask you about skee ball. All right, so let's hear about that first.
Skee ball. I got into skee ball back when I was at 2K in San Francisco, and little did I know that that would take me to a journey of competing in the world championships of skee ball, of actually, going full circle where one of our investors, Larry Trankler, owns skee ball. And so I have a deep interest in skee ball. I was disappointed it was not included in the Olympics in 2028, but maybe my Olympic dream can be in the future at some point.
Yeah, we're counting on that. So your credentials in LA and San Francisco and that world were all well established, and you probably could have stayed and worked there for a very long time, very successfully. So why Wisconsin?
It's an interesting question because you see all the lights of LA and San Francisco and the glitz and glamour and Wisconsin doesn't have as much of that. Not that it doesn't have some of it. The Green Bay Packers are a bright light, but ultimately there's a lot of opportunity in Wisconsin to grow in these areas. And with the experience that I've been able to gain over the last quite a few years, has led me to want to bring some of that back, because I think combining some of the humble, hardworking people in Wisconsin with a little bit more glitz and glamour, I think we could mix something to become really an entertainment capital in a lot of ways, especially in the video game space, which is so technical, and there's so many incredible technical people in Wisconsin and the Midwest.
Yeah, a lot of great talent here across the board. You're exactly right. And as I noted earlier in this show, we're leading our Wisconsin Early Stage Symposium, which will be November 8th and 9th in Madison, with a plenary session featuring you, Tim Garrettson from Lost Boys Interactive, and Brian Raffle from Raven Software. That's a pretty solid lineup for gaming in Wisconsin. What are you hoping the audience takes away from that session? And by the way, they get to sample games later in the general meeting area.
Yeah, and I'm excited for them to try one of our first games, Rah Rah Boom. But what I hope they really take away from this is games has been here. Like what Brian and Tim have done in the ecosystem over 30 plus years is incredible. And so games has been in Wisconsin. Heck, Dungeons and Dragons was invented in Wisconsin. So gaming is a long history. What Brian and Tim have done in the ecosystem is incredible, and there's more room for growth. There's a lot of opportunities ahead of us. Tim has started up a number of companies here, and his company is doing a lot of incredible things at Lost Boys. And so there's even more room. EA is building a studio in Madison. We're now here. And there's a number of other things happening in the ecosystem in Green Bay, Madison, Milwaukee, and other cities. And so there's room for growth. It's happening, and it's happening now, which that's really what I'd want as a takeaway.
Yes, and I've been told that video gaming and esports, maybe combined, are about 5 or 6 times bigger than the music and movie industries combined. Is that true from your
Yeah.
perspective?
Yeah, movie, TV, music. Yeah, games is bigger than all of them combined by multiple, depending on how you look at it. But definitely bigger than all of them combined, and growing much faster, whereas some of them have leveled off a bit more. And so it's really gaming is the center of culture, which is why you see a lot of films around games, a lot of music even around games, and it's an incredible future ahead of us.
That's great. Well, it's excellent to have you back here, Ben, in Wisconsin, help to lead the way so that we continue to be moving towards the top there. Thanks so much, Ben Kvalo.
Thanks, Tom.
Thanks again to our sponsors, BDO and Exact Sciences. We'll see you next time.